Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Today we're going all the way to West Africa in Senegal. Lutte Senegalese, also known as Lamb, the Senegalese wrestling. And today is going to be a massive clash between Reug Reug versus Bombardier. This fight happened on Sunday, 24th of December. El Clasico, a classical fight between Reug Reug, Oumar Kane versus Serigne Bombardier B52. This fight has been an anticipated fight for a long time. The build-up has been ongoing for a while. The talk, the trash talk, and finally the two met in the Senegalese wrestling in the famous National Arena, the Senegalese wrestling stadium or arena, a stadium that has a capacity of over 20,000 seats. The 20,000 capacity Arena National de Lutte in Senegal is the largest wrestling stadium in the country. As you can see, a packed arena, not filled up, but a lot of fans showed up to see the classical fight between Reug Reug and Bombardier. As we go into the build-up of this fight, I'm going to walk you through the interesting history of Senegalese wrestling. Senegalese wrestling has been here for a while, became popular in the 50s, and with it becoming the most popular version of striking wrestling, if you want to call it that way, in West Africa. This wrestling has different versions. In Nigeria and Niger, it is called Kokoa. It's a bit different from the Senegalese wrestling, the lamb, because the Kokoa does not involve a striking, but in the lamb, another variation, which is the Senegalese type of wrestling, involve punching and also wrestling. So the wrestling looks like the Roman Greco wrestling, the Olympic wrestling. So that is it. The most anticipated fight about to start. You can see Reug Reug and Bombardier, the referee in the center. I'm going to walk you through some technicalities or some stats behind this fight as the fights progress. You can see the famous Senegalese arena, unbelievable. Reug Reug versus Bombardier. Bombardier is known as one of the legends of the sport. Coming towards the end of his career at 47 years old, the B52 intends to leave the sport making a mark. He has a record of 19 wins, 9 losses in 28 fights. Bombardier is admired by many in the Senegalese wrestling arena. The 6'6" giant is one loved by many in Senegal. He started his MMA career in 2018, amassing a record of 5 wins, with 5 wins by KOTQ, with just 1 defeat against Mariusz Pudzianowski at KSW 64 in 2021. Bombardier gained massive popularity when he fought at KSW, become a worldwide worldwide name, even though he's well known in Senegal. But we get to know Bombardier more during his MMA career. Also, on the other hand, he's taking on Reug Reug, 31 years old. Reug Reug also has an incredible record of 14 wins in Lutte wrestling, 2 fights without verdict, which can be called as no contest, and 1 defeat. With a wrestling career which started since 2012, Reug Reug, also an MMA fighter in himself. He's fighting at 1 championship in Singapore, has a record of 6 wins, 1 loss, 4 wins by KOTQ. Reug Reug currently is the #1 contender for the 1 championship heavyweight title. So going straight into this fight, you can see the referee here getting frustrated. The fight started, you can see so much delay, both of them showing respect to one another. Reug Reug was being a bit hesitant to move forward, same as Bombardier. Reug Reug paid massive respect to Bombardier because he has been in the sport. He's well respected, like I mentioned earlier. The referee stopped the fight twice. The referee Malik Ngom stopped the fight and then asked the fighters to restart the fight. You can see Reug Reug moving forward, making the move, holding the hand of Bombardier. I'm looking for how to go for a clinch. Bombardier is also watching closely, trying to see how he's going to attack or counter Reug Reug. The referee wanted to give the crowd something, because the fans were kind of getting worried, getting agitated, and and the environment was so tense with nobody making the move. And Reug Reug, you can see initiating the move, the first approach, going forward. Bombardier cycling, Reug Reug going after him. This is incredible. This is intense. For those who are not familiar with Lutte wrestling, I'm going to also walk you through the rules of the Lutte wrestling. Lutte wrestling, as you can see round. It's a round circle arena, which is mostly covered with a bag of sands. As you can see, the way to victory in this fight, striking is allowed. That is why it is called striking wrestling. And the rule or the path to victory in this type of wrestling is by taking your opponent to the ground, knocking your opponent to the ground with his head, the back, and the leg touching the ground. Also, another way of victory, another part of victory to this kind of fight, as you can see, Reug Reug moving forward, clinching, trying to see how he can take Bombardier down. Bombardier defending well with his 2 feet backward, trying to put that stamina properly on the ground. Reug Reug, you can see, forcing that energy, forcing that pressure. What do we have here? What do we have here? La ilaha illallah. Reug Reug took Bombardier down, and that's it. Like I was saying to you guys, the way to victory in this fight is by knocking your opponent to the ground, taking him fully to the ground. You can see the fans in the arena national Senegal. Bombardier looks surprised. All the fans are excited. The crowd erupted. What a fight! Reug Reug finally defeated one of the legends of Senegalese wrestling, Bombardier. This is amazing, unbelievable. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. This is incredible. This is incredible. This is my own version of Senegalese wrestling commentary. I hope you enjoy this. Reug Reug has now moved himself to 15 wins with just 1 loss and 2 no contests. A way to send Bombardier into retirement. Maybe Bombardier will fight again, but with this victory, Reug Reug is now one of the elite wrestlers in Senegalese wrestling. Even though Bombardier look unrecognizable, I think age caught up with him. He has been one of the legends who has defeated the likes of Yekini, another great in Senegalese wrestling. With this victory, Reug Reug came in shape. He looked phenomenal. Thursday's victory against Bombardier definitely opening door for Reug Reug to fight among the VIP in Senegalese wrestling. The VIPs are the top guys in Senegalese wrestling. After his lone defeat to Saitia, Oumar, Kane, Reug Reug has now recovered perfectly well against Bombardier. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. Take a look at the takedown. Reug Reug defeated Bombardier in a classical fashion. And this victory now validates Reug Reug arrival in the restricted cycle of tension of the arena in Senegal. He now has the ability, or has the capability, or has now been welcomed into the room to fight or to sit on the table alongside Modulo, Baleguetu, Emusane, Tafatini, among others. Reug Reug understood this now, and we're going to be looking at more big VIP fights coming up in Senegalese Lutte wrestling. Like I mentioned to you guys, the part of victory to this fight is taking your opponent to the ground completely, or taking them out of the cycle, the sandbag cycle completely, or throwing them to the ground, whereby their 2 hands, the 2 hand and the 2 limbs touch the 2 hand and the 2 nail on the floor. This is just the path to victory. You can also strike in Lutte wrestling, but Reug Reug here did not need to strike. All he needs is his power, his tenacity, and you can see that reverse, that takedown, and incredible slam by Reug Reug to win this fight. So guys, thank you very much for enjoying this commentary and this fight. Make sure to follow Lutte Senegal. This video is brought to you by Lutte TV, a Senegalese famous TV who put Senegalese wrestling on the map. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Also subscribe to the African Fighters channel. See you some other time. Peace out. Bye for now. The African Fighters.
C'était prévisible. àgg na ko fañ waxoon ne àgg na ko fañ waxoon ne bu ko fa àggee jël am ma dugal na ñaan loxo ca gaño ya mbër fort dafa am fort non Reug Reug dafa mën bëre ci bëre la ko mënin Reug Reug mëninam mooy mu dugal ñaan loxom say gaño wane na bëre bu rëy wane na bëre la jeex